Welcome to Christopher Newport University's Virtual 360 Tour. If you're viewing this on your computer or mobile device, you can click and drag on the video to look around in any direction at any time during the tour. Also, on newer mobile devices, you can move your device around and view the space we're in. This video is also compatible with virtual reality devices and Google Cardboard. Now let's head into Christopher Newport Hall and start the tour.
Hello, and welcome to Christopher Newport University. My name is Edward Vincent Benton III, and I'll be your tour guide today. A little information about me. While at Christopher Newport University, I study mathematics, and I'm also involved in several organizations here on campus, one of which is Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, through which we take on a number of initiatives, assisting with the March of Dimes, mentoring youth in the community, and raising voter awareness. Another organization I'm a part of is the Student Virginia Educators Association, through which I take on opportunities to go volunteer in the local elementary and middle schools here in Newport News. But enough about me. Right now, we're on the second floor of Christopher Newport Hall, which was completed in the spring of 2015. This is where you would come for a tour, as you've done, good job. This is also where you would come for an admissions interview. Now, this is a fairly informal interview process, but it's a way for our admissions team to get to know you, the individual. We want to know what your interests are, what your academic interests are, and where you see yourself after you graduated from university. Now, follow me and let's go take a tour. Here we are on the steps of Christopher Newport Hall. Before we get started on the rest of the tour, I want to tell you just a little bit more about this building. On our fourth floor, we have our executive offices, which are home to the president and provost, who highly encourage you to visit them during their open office hours sessions. On our third floor, we have our housing office, as well as the Center for Career Planning. Now, the members of the Center for Career Planning have a number of resources and tools to help you make the best decisions for your academic future, as well as your professional future. On our second floor, we have the Welcome Center, which I've already mentioned previously. On our first floor, we have the Office of the Registrar, Financial Aid Office, as well as our Center for Academic Success, which houses our tutoring center as well as our writing center. If you're a student who's struggling in a class, you can head on to the Center for Academic Success to get the tutoring that you need. And perhaps you're a good writer and a great editor. You're welcome to become a tutor yourself through our writing center and help other students fulfill their course requirements. Here we are on the great lawn just outside of Christopher Newport Hall. Now, before we continue on the tour, I want to take a few minutes to sort of describe the layout of campus here. Now, if you imagine the great lawn being the center of a target, being the bullseye, then you can imagine the first ring of that target being our academic buildings. So immediately behind me, we have Christopher Newport Hall. And over here, we have our Paul and Rosemary Trible Library, which is home to, of course, our books. And it's also home to our famous Einstein's Cafe, where you can go for a milkshake, but we'll talk about that later. Over here, over my shoulder, we have our David Student Union, which is home to one of our two dining facilities on campus, as well as our CNU mailroom and CNU ballroom, where we hold special events. Behind me now, we have the McMurrin Hall, which is home to our humanities and arts departments. Over here across my shoulder, we have Forbes Hall, which is home to the natural and behavioral sciences. So if you're interested in chemistry, biology, microbiology, that's where you would go for your studies. And finally, over my shoulder now is Luter Hall, which is home to our internationally accredited School of Business, as well as our physics department, computer science and computer engineering departments, and most importantly, our mathematics departments. All right, that's the great lawn. Let's get started on the rest of the tour. As we move towards the Freeman Center to talk about our athletic facilities, I want to take a few moments now to re-explore the analogy of our campus setup. Now, if you imagine the great lawn being the bullseye of a target, and the first ring around that target being our academic buildings, then the next ring around that target would be home to our dining facilities as well as residence halls. So behind my right shoulder, we have Commons, one of our two dining facilities here on campus, which is attached to Santoro Hall, an example of one of our freshman residencies here at the university. Now over my left shoulder, you'll notice we have Warwick Hall, which is an example of a sophomore style residency set up a little differently than the freshman residence halls. We like to say at Christopher Newport that each year your housing gets better and better. As a sophomore, your residence hall room is set up suite style, meaning you share a common space as well as a shared hallway kitchen. As an upperclassman, you have the opportunity to live in our apartment style residence halls, which have not only a common space in the suite, but also a shared kitchen in the suite itself. And being that we have a 3-year residential living requirement on campus, we like to say that we take great care of our students here at Christopher Newport University. Here we are inside of the Freeman Center Fieldhouse, which is home to a number of our athletic teams here on campus. Specifically, this home court right here is home to our men's and women's basketball teams, as well as our women's volleyball team. So let's start with the floor. This is the second fastest running material in the world and has been used in the past not 1, not 2, not 3, the past 4 Olympic Games. We like to give our students the very best here at Christopher Newport University. So, as you notice, this hardwood floor court here. On the other side of that curtain, over there to my left, you'll notice that we have 2 more adjacent courts, which can be used for another of other athletic facilities. For example, we might have a dance team practicing in the gym at the same time as our volleyball team, and we might have the baseball team on the far court doing indoor batting practice. The reason we're able to make all of those things happen at once is because of our curtain system here. Now, what you'll notice is that we have a curtain that comes down and divides each of the 3 main courts. We also, above us, have another curtain that separates all of the courts from the surrounding track, meaning that we can have 3 teams practicing on each of those 3 courts, and we can have a track practice going on at the exact same time. It's phenomenal. Now, another thing I want to point out, if you look at the walls all over the field house here, you'll notice we have a number of banners. Well, that's because we do a lot of winning here at Christopher Newport University. We have the highest winning percentage in the state of Virginia for any university, Division 1, 2, or 3. We're winning nearly 3/4 of all the games that we play. So that means there's a 3 out of 4 chance if you came to see us play, you'd watch us win. Why don't you come on down for a game sometime? Welcome to the Trieshman Fitness Pavilion. It is one of 2 workout facilities here on campus. The other workout facility is Radcliffe Hall, which is designed specifically for student athletes. So working out here in the Trieshman, you don't have to worry about the 160-man football team taking out all of the workout equipment. Now, in here, there are a few really key features that I want to mention. First of which is our cardio zone, our Cox cardio zone, which has a number of treadmills and ellipticals, as well as a stair stepper, and a number of TVs as well. So say, for example, you have a documentary or a video you need to watch for class, you can do that and get your exercise on at the same time. Now, moving into these rooms, we have our workout facility here hosting our free weights. We have this zone dedicated to more cardio equipment. As you can see, the ellipticals here and the treadmills behind me. And then in this room specifically is known as our multi-purpose room. These rooms are used for, you guessed it, multiple purposes. Now, aside from being used for individual exercises and workouts, these rooms are the venues for our fitness classes here on campus. Now, let me tell you a little about these classes. We offer a number of courses such as yoga, Pilates, Zumba, hot yoga, right? And how these classes work. At the beginning of the semester, there's a week-long period where all the exercise classes are free. And that gives students the opportunity to try out classes and get a feel for them to see if they'd like to come back. Now, after that week is up, you have a decision to make as a student. One option would be you decide you want to do a class just one time every now and again, at which point you would pay $5 per individual session that you attend. Now, say, for example, you would like to attend multiple sessions a week for multiple weeks out of the semester. Well, you can go ahead and make the decision to pay $25 up front at the beginning of the semester, and you have access to all of the fitness classes that the university has to offer. It's a great opportunity to get in shape, to stay in shape, and continue living a healthy, balanced life here at Christopher Newport University. As we continue through the field house, I want to introduce you to our conference wing, which is home to a number of meeting and seminar rooms on this floor and the second floor above me. These meeting and seminar rooms can be used by organizations that host small events. And speaking of event, we have our Gaines Theater here over my left shoulder, which is home to a number of theatrical presentations. For example, we might have a talent show or CNU's own version of the American Idol. This theater seats about 150 to 250 students and can be used by on-campus organizations such as the Campus Activities Board, which I'll talk about later on. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ferguson Center of the Arts. This is home to 3 different theaters in which students get to experience all types of events, such as Stroll the Poles and performances by, say, John Legend, the Blue Man Group, and even the Russian Ballet. Now, what makes this place special is that this is also home to our theater and arts departments. So if you are interested in studying music, dance, theater, then this is the place for you. And while we're here, I'd like to draw your attention to the construction that's going on behind me. We are building a new fine arts center. And we expect this project to be completed by the summer of 2021. We look forward to bringing you to campus and enjoying some wonderful events inside of the Ferguson Center of the Arts. Here we are in the Paul and Rosemary Trible Library. Specifically, we're standing in the reading room, one of the newest additions to the building itself. Now, with that addition came over 1,100 seats and study spaces for students throughout the academic year. Now, this library is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so long as classes are in session. With that said, there are a number of things just on the second floor of the library alone. For example, behind me down the hallway, we have our media center where students can go to rent movies, DVDs. They can even check out camera and recording equipment, then go back to the media center to edit the photos or videos that they've taken. Down the hallway further, we have a small research theater where students can go to present research and also attend some guest lectures and guest speakers that come to our university. Even beyond that, we have 2 silent reading rooms on our second floor as well, and even more seats and study spaces along the path on the way there. As we continue our exploration of the second floor, there are a few spaces up here that I want you to be aware of. Namely, here are a few. We have our Honors Program Center. We also have our Center for Graduate Studies, as well as our Center for Undergraduate Research. As if that wasn't enough to offer, we also have a number of classrooms and study spaces in this part of the library, as well as 2 silent reading rooms. Here we are on the first floor of the Paul and Rosemary Trible Library, and while we're here, I want to introduce you to a few more spaces that you'll become very familiar with during your time here at Christopher Newport. Over my right shoulder, your left, we have one of our computer labs, in which you'll find that you have printer access, and each student receives printer funds at the start of each semester, which is part of your tuition here. Also inside of our computer lab is our IT help desk. Now, the members of that team are Mac and PC friendly, offering free services to students. Now, over my left shoulder, your right, we have our circulation desk, where you can go to rent up to 50 textbooks at one time. In fact, you can rent up to 50 of any kind of book at one time, but if you ever have a class that makes you rent 50, I might consider dropping the class. Now, with that said, say for example, you want to rent a book that is unavailable in our library. Well, the great thing about being a captain is that we are part of the interlibrary loan system. What that means is that if there's ever a book that you can't find available physically here in our library, then all you have to do is request that book to be sent here free of charge to you, and you'll receive that book within several weeks. And finally, over my left shoulder, your right, we have our Einstein's Cafe, which is home to all of your Starbucks essentials, your muffins, pastries, and most importantly, your Starbucks coffee. In fact, Einstein's Cafe is more famous for its milkshakes, and I highly recommend when you get to campus, you try one before it's too late. Finally, behind this staircase, over my left shoulder, we have a number of seats and study spaces so that students can maximize their time and opportunities here in our library. Here we are in York River West, an example of one of our freshman residencies here on campus. Fun fact about this building is that its interior design, its lobby area, is modeled after a ski lodge that the president and his wife visited one year on vacation. Now, I want to take a few minutes to talk about some of the safety features here on campus, one of which is evident in Typically, when I would come into this building, I would flash my student ID to the front desk advisor or resident assistant here that is typically stationed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so long as classes are in session. But since it's just you and I here, we get to skip over that. One of the reasons I flash my ID to the FDA or RA present at the time is because each ID comes with a color-coded sticker. Each sticker color corresponds to a specific colored sticker in each of the residence halls. It's a great way of the FDA or RA ensuring that I'm in the right building and in the place that I'm supposed to be. Now, with that said, I want to talk about another of our safety features here, being our campus police force. The cnu.pd, which is headquartered directly across the street from the Ferguson Center of the Arts, has a very constant, very consistent presence on the university campus. Fun fact about the university. Not only does the university itself hold a crime prevention certification, but Newport News as a city also has a crime prevention certification, making Christopher Newport University one of 3 schools in the entire state of Virginia to hold a dual crime prevention certification. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means our campus is extraordinarily safe. Our cnu.pd works exceptionally hard to maintain certain safety regulations, to do campus walks, ensuring that the foliage is cut a certain way so that criminals or perpetrators can't hide behind anything. We have our campus well lit at all times of day. And on top of that, the university administration maintains a strict set of standards that they update annually. With all of that said, our campus police force, in tandem with the Newport News Police Force, ensure that our campus is kept safe at all times. Now, another critical safety feature is that of the alert husk boxes. These boxes are phenomenal because not only are they in every building, they're on every hall, everywhere around campus. Now, these boxes are used specifically in times of emergencies. For example, in the event of emergency, these boxes will let off a very loud sound that is impossible to ignore and display a message detailing not only what the emergency is, but also how to respond to that emergency. This is a great way to keep students informed at all times of day about anything that may happen on campus. For example, say there's a fire in this building. Well, the first thing you would hear is the alert us boxes going off in all of the hallways throughout the building and throughout the campus. The message then displayed along the screen would say, there is a fire in the building, please exit the building safely. Again, this is just another safety mechanism in place so that students, no matter where you are on campus, can be up to date with the right information about emergencies, which are rare, and gives you plenty of information about how to respond to those emergencies. So, between the front desk assistant and resident advisor, the campus security system, and the alert us boxes, I can tell you as a student who's attended this university for several years that this campus is very, very safe. Here we are in a typical freshman residency inside of York River West. Now, there are a few key features I want to point out before we continue along the tour. The first of which is going to be this adjustable AC unit right here. You and your roommate will have to decide if you like it as cold as the Arctic or as hot as the desert, but I'll leave that up to you. Another critical feature of the room, you'll notice, is that the sink and bathroom located here is outside of the restroom area. Well, as a matter of fact, that's done very intentionally, and I'll tell you why. When you move into Christopher Newport, you'll be sharing a space with a roommate. With that said, say for example, your roommate is in the shower while you need to get dressed for class. Well, that's all right because the sink is on the outside, so you're free to brush your teeth and do your makeup and get on the way to class without running a second late. Now, speaking of restrooms, you'll notice if you look in here, we have our typical shower stall as well as a stall. You'll also notice that we have racks for towels for each of the members of the suite. Moving along, you'll notice the wardrobe here. If I open this up, you'll notice we have some extra hanging space, some more storage space, shelves, and multiple drawers. These are great. In a typical freshman residency, you would see exactly 2 of these. In this case, because we're in a showroom, there's only one wardrobe here. Now, with that said, everything with this color wood is made specifically by cnu and will be in here upon your moving in. So 2 wardrobes, 2 desks, 2 chairs, and 2 beds. These beds can be lowered or raised according to your own preference. You can even have a bed lofted and use the under space for storage or maybe even putting a desk under there. I've even seen roommates put bunk beds together. Everything else that you see in here, for example, the bedspreads and the posters on the wall, are provided by Bed Bath & Beyond. Okay, moving along in the room, we're getting to my favorite part. One thing I want you to take special note of is the micro fridge unit. This is a microwave and refrigerator in one. That's why we call it the micro fridge unit. And it comes standard in every single room in the Christopher Newport University campus, meaning that you don't have to supply your own, nor do you have to look for storage when the year is up. These come in all of the rooms. And one of the most critical features, if you look up at the ceiling, is the Wi-Fi router. We recently tripled the amount of Wi-Fi on campus, meaning that if I start streaming a video for class in my bedroom, I could go all the way out to the middle of the Great Lawn and not lose a second due to a disconnection, which is a great feature to have. And with that said, we have seen all of the features that come standard in a Christopher Newport University room for a freshman student. Welcome to our David Student Union. You'll hear me refer to it as the DSU for short. We like to call this place the heartbeat of campus because there's so much activity in here all the time. On our third floor, that is home to our Office of Student Affairs and our Office of Student Activities. In the Office of Student Affairs, we have our PLP office, or President's Leadership Program office, as well as our CHECS office, our Center for Honor Enrichment and Community Standards. In our Office of Student Activities, we have the home of our over 200 plus clubs and organizations. This place is great because it offers resources and storage spaces for all of those clubs and organizations so that they can make resources like the banner you see directly above me. On our second floor, we have our CNU ballroom, which is home to our annual captain's ball, sort of like our prom, but better snacks and less drama. Also on our second floor, we have our mail room where you can send and receive packages. When you move in as a freshman, you'll receive a mailbox key, a mailbox number, and that will remain your mailbox during all of your years here at the university. Also on our second floor, we have our crow's nest. This is a great social hangout spot. It's also a place where student organizations can host very small events and gatherings throughout the week. On our first floor, here we have our one-stop shop for students. We have our CNU Engage and Study Abroad offices. If you're interested in exploring another culture, exploring another country, head on down to our Study Abroad office and they can help you to find the most appropriate study abroad opportunities for you. If you're interested in doing some local community service in the Hampton Roads area or in Newport News Public Schools, head on down to our CNU Engage office. They have a plethora of opportunities for you to get involved, not just on campus, but off campus as well. And finally, behind you, we have our captain's locker, where you can go for all of your CNU swag and apparel. This is also a place where you can go to visit the online bookstore in case you want to order books from the school store. Also, while we're here, before we talk about food in regattas, I want to talk about some of the food in our student union. If you look to my right, your left, we have Discovery Pizzeria, where you can get pizza, soft pretzels, and even churros. Behind this staircase to my right, your left, we have a Chick-fil-A Express, which has everything a real Chick-fil-A does, with the exception of milkshakes and the spicy chicken sandwich. But don't fear, behind the SunTrust building on the other side of campus, we have a full-service Chick-fil-A. Behind me, to my left, your right, we have the Discovery Grill. This is where you can go for anything fried. You can get hot dogs, burgers, fried mac and cheese, even mozzarella sticks. And then to my left, your right, we have the Discovery Bistro. This is where students go on campus for paninis and hot sandwiches, and my personal favorite, sushi. We have a sous chef that comes in every single day to prepare fresh sushi for all of the students. Now, I don't know about you, I'm getting hungry. Here we are once again on the great lawn of Christopher Newport University, and before we head to our next stop, I'd like to take a few minutes to discuss some of my personal favorite, most memorable of the CNU traditions here on campus. The first of which I'm going to describe is one called Light the Night. It's a great event where the incoming freshmen, they receive glow sticks. We all gather on the great lawn just underneath the steps of Christopher Newport Hall. We dance for hours to music played by a live DJ. And right at a certain time, as the beat is building up. And right when the beat drops, we all throw our glow sticks up in the air in celebration for the beginning of our journey at Christopher Newport and the beginning of a new chapter. Now, another of my favorite traditions takes place right at commencement. Commencement is a ceremony in which all of us incoming freshmen sign the honor code. And at the end of that signing ceremony, we receive a penny. We receive that penny and we're meant to hold on to that penny and cherish it for 4 years leading up to our graduation. And once we've received our penny, we made our way to the bell tower, to my left and your right. We lined up all down the great lawn and one by one rang the bell tower to signify the beginning of our new journey at Christopher Newport University. And the reason these moments are special is because the day of graduation, commencement, as we are proceeding to our ceremony, we will stop at the fountain on the other side of the Trible library, and we will toss our convocation pennies into that fountain as a wish for good luck and good fortune as we end our careers here at Christopher Newport University. And after commencement, we all gather and line back up once more along the great lawn, right by the bell tower, and one by one, we ring that bell. Not as the end of our careers here at Christopher Newport University, but as the beginning of our careers as captains for life. Welcome to Joseph W. Luter Hall. This is home to our internationally accredited School of Business. We have students here from all over the world coming for the business school, but that is not all this building has to offer. This is also home to our computer science and computer engineering departments. It's home to our physics department. And most importantly, if you ask me, this is home to our mathematics department. Go math. Now, with that said, I want to take a few minutes to talk about some of the academic standards here at Christopher Newport University. We are a liberal arts school, and as such, we have a liberal learning core curriculum. As part of that curriculum, you must take 5 area of inquiry courses across a range of subjects in order to graduate. And one of those requirements is a requirement to take a 200-level language course in order to graduate. Now, you are welcome to continue in the same language that you studied in high school, or should you so choose, you may pick an entirely new language to focus on and learn about. So, we look forward to welcoming you to our campus and to experience a culture and a language in a new way. Now, one of the most important aspects of any collegiate environment is class size. And I'm sure you're all wondering, how big are the classes here? Well, 64% of our classes contain 19 students or less, while only about 3% of our classes contain 100 students. And of that 3%, those are our general education classes, which take place in our lecture halls. Now, in my experience, my class sizes are about 14 students, but I've even been in a class as small as 6 students. And what that means for me and so many other students here at Christopher Newport University is that we have the opportunity to engage with our professors in a meaningful way, both inside and outside of the classroom. See, as part of the requirements of professors, each professor is required to host a certain number of office hours each week outside of their designated office time to engage in personal research. And so in a small class, I'm getting very good personalized attention. And then when I need the academic support, I can go visit my professor in their office hours at various points throughout the week. Now, as if professors aren't doing enough, they not only teach classes and host office hours and engage in personal research, they also serve as advisors to students. Now, your first 2 years here at Christopher Newport University, you'll receive a general advisor. These academic advisors are there to support you and make sure that you're acclimating to college life both inside and outside of the classroom. So what that means is they're ensuring that you're taking the necessary classes to fulfill your area of inquiry requirements in order to graduate. And they're also ensuring that you're taking care of your personal, emotional, and mental health. making sure that you're doing well and socializing and also keeping up with your studies. Now, the reason you only have this advisor for 2 years is because the second semester of your sophomore year, try saying that 10 times fast, we have a tradition here, yet another one, called signing day. Now, signing day is very special because that is the day that you officially sign to your major. For example, I came in to Christopher Newport interested in mathematics, and on signing day, I officially signed myself into the major. Now, when I did that, I received a major-specific advisor. These advisors are phenomenal because they are professors in your field of study. Not only that, but they're also knowledgeable of the classes that you need to take in order to graduate, the order in which to take those classes, and the rigor of each of those classes. They are resources to support you and help guide you towards internship opportunities, undergraduate research opportunities, and career opportunities so that you're prepared for the next step once you've left these halls of Christopher Newport University. We look forward to welcoming you to the school and all that we have to offer. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here we are at the end of our tour, and I want to say thank you for joining me as we explored Christopher Newport University together. If you have any further questions, I suggest that you check out our webpage at cnu.edu or contact our admission team for any follow-up questions. Also, feel free to check us out on social media. And hopefully, be seeing you soon.